Hey and welcome back. I'm 36 James of Funk, 36 COF, your number one funk hero. And if this is your first time on the channel, I'd like you to drop a like, drop a comment and subscribe. And today I'll be doing my One Piece chapter 1015 review titled Chains. Now, this chapter we see Luffy and he is confirmed he's sinking to the bottom of the ocean and he's lost consciousness, but we don't. I mean, later on in the chapter we find out that Luffy's okay. Luffy does get rescued by the Heart Pirates, so that is a big load off my mind. I mean, I was wondering how Luffy was going to be saved. I mean, you guys comment below how you felt Luffy was going to be saved. But we pan back and we see a panel of Chopper and he's still being attacked by Queen, and this is after the announcement has gone out that Kaido defeated Luffy, and for Chopper he's started to lose morale, and the other samurai and some of the Minks are starting to lose their morale. Now we see Izo, Kawamatsu, Zoro and Sanji as they're making their way through the hall, and they're telling them, and they're saying that people have already started to lose hope, like, well, the weaker ones, I guess, but they're on their way to help Chopper, because in the next panel we see my boy Sanji jump in and use his Diablo Jambe rotisserie just as Chopper's been attacked by Queen, because at this time Chopper has lost his morale after hearing Luffy's been defeated, because remember, Chopper is the youngest, he's essentially a child on the crew. But we can't forget that Pearl Sparrow's here too, that slimy tongue fucker. and in the last chapter I forgot to mention, but he was shooting barrages of candy arrows in the arena, and he's released another barrage of them. Now, just as these arrows are coming toward it, this is when Sanji jumps in, attacks Queen, and starts to deflect. And we see this. The next page is just fucking. It's just hype, guys, because we just see Sanji just jumping around, like spin kicking Queen, and at the same time he also deflects all the arrows that Pearl Sparrow threw back at him, and Pearl Sparrow notices this, but before he has time to react, it's too late. But this is just epicness from Sanji, and I feel like now he's getting more shine in this arc than he did in Whole Cake, in all honesty. But you guys can tell me how you feel about Sanji's growth. Now, once Sanji comes and saves the day, he does commend Chopper. He tells him, "Well done, you did well." But Chopper, my boy's still emotional, and he's saying, "But what about Luffy?" And you know, Sanji's like, "Don't cry, you idiot. The amount of times Luffy's been in situations like this, like, you should know better." And see, that's Sanji, just epic as always, and I can't help to like him because I am a cook myself, and his whole leg fighting style is just dope. But anyway, enough from that tangent. Sanji squares up to Queen. He says, "Leave that dinosaur to me, Chopper. You take care of Zoro," and he hands him Zoro. And we get this great moment where he's like, "Take care of him. He's worth the 10 of strength men when he's healthy." And Zoro's like, "I'm worth 2,000. You gotta love the dynamic between those two. And we see some of the samurai, and their thoughts are like, why do they keep fighting if their captain's already dead? And they obviously, but they don't know about Luffy and, you know, his strength. So they're doubting Luffy, and shame on them. But we do see a little panel of Marco, and says, "This is why I like you guys." So Marco is giving them props here, but we pan to the castle's first floor and the crawl space, and this is after Kaido's laid out Kinemon, and he's not dead, he's still alive, he's holding his sword. And Kaido, he tells him, "What will these extra seconds buy you? What will this escape change what will their escape change exactly?" And during this time we see Kinemon, and he's reminiscing to all the times with Momonosuke, like just when Oden died, and he tells him, "You will call me father, and I will call you son from now on. We have to pretend to be father and son in order to protect your identity, Lord Momonosuke." And there's little moments where they slip up, and Kinemon Momo Lord, which, as you know, you wouldn't do as a father. You'd only do that if you were a servant or a vassal to a daimyo. But this scene is touching because we do see the moments where they mess up and they finally get to the point where they call each other like Momonosuke and father, and it's a little sweet moment. But I mean, this is the end for shit. This is the end for Kinemon, RIP, because as Kinemon's last moments, he just thinks Lord Momonosuke flee, and we see the panels of Momonosuke being carried by Shinobu, and we see Kaido. He stabs Kinemon. We see him stab him through the back with a sword, or I think one of Kinemon's swords, but yeah, Kinemon's dead, guys. It's a shame. I mean, put RIP in the comments for Kinemon, because he was a G. But we do see that Momo does pick up one of the rabbits, or one of the frogs with the tags on, so one of the surveillance systems, I guess. And Shinobu says, "Why are you holding this?" And he says, "I have to tell them." And he starts speaking into the toad, and his message is being broadcasted throughout all of Onigashima. And he says, "I'm Lord Momonosuke, it's me." And the other samurai can hear this, and they're like, "Oh, Lord Momo's alive," which has helped their morale a bit. Now he says, I pass along Luffy's words," and he says Luffy is alive, and he tells him that he will return to the battle. And look, Momo's saying this, he's screaming, he's got tears streaming down his eyes, he's really pouring his heart out here, guys. But what I questioned before was, how is Momo just saying this? Is he lying? But as we find out later, as I said, Luffy gets rescued by the Heart Pirates, and this is through him using his observation haki, or his, what's the word, his the voice of all things, which is not, or is a type of haki. I'm not quite sure. You guys comment below and tell me how you think. But Momo continues his message, and he says, "So keep fighting, no matter how hard and painful it is. As long as you still breathe, continue to fight. Momo, tell them I'm going to beat Kaido." And the last part I just said is Luffy's thoughts, and he's projecting his thoughts to Momo. Now this is because they both have the voice of all things, so they can understand each other, while Luffy can send these messages out from far away. And he says Luffy's going to win. And I love this panel because we see the Straw Hats, we see Frankie, Chopper, Brooke, we see Robin, and they're all and the sheer excitement and determination on their faces is inspiring. It truly is. But Kaido's caught up to Momo, guys. Kaido has caught up to him, and he says, "Are you satisfied now, son of Odin?" And Shinobu, she's clutch right now. She uses her ripe fruit to age the ground beneath him in order to drop below, right before Kaido has a chance to attack them or get anywhere near them. Now they're on mainland Wano now. It's established, so they shouldn't be over the sea, so they should be fine. Especially if Shinobu uses her fruit again before they make contact with the ground. Who knows? You guys tell me how you think this is gonna end out. But now this is where we see Luffy get saved by the Heart Pirates, but not by Law's crew. And they say, how is Luffy able to talk to us out here? How were we able to hear him? Because obviously they're not aware of the voice of all things. But we also do get to see Tama, and she's happy, and she's like, "Big bro, Luffy's still alive." And this is why she's still being carried by Nami and Usopp. And a weird thing that happens to Nami's climb attack is that it starts talking. It becomes a homie. Her climb attack's a homie now. And the next panel we see Big Mom, she's laughing. She's like, "Mama." They're bluffing for him. If he fell into the sea, he's dead for sure. But the longer you work with him, the more you get this funny feeling that he'll find a way in the end. And that was Kid's response to Big Mom. Actually, no, that's Law's response. Sorry, I should say it's Law, because Big Mom says this to Kid, but Law's in the back. Law's behind Kid, and I'm not sure Kid's aware until he turns around and says, Trafalgar, don't tell me you're here to mess up my fight. And they're gonna form a temporary alliance, because that's what Law suggests. Let's form a temporary alliance, Kid. So next chapter we could see Kid and Law. Big Mom, you guys comment down below and tell me how you feel about that. Because I've been saying Kid's been slept on for so long, and Oda, you need to do this, Oda. You gotta give us some Kid shine, like some Captain Kid. We need to see Captain Kid. But the last panels of the chapter, we pan back to Kaido, and he's still, and all we hear is a scream. We hear Kaido from the top of her lungs, his lungs, and we see Yamato. And Kaido's like, I think you mean Father Yamato. She's like, no, I've come here to cut those chains. So Yamato's come to fight her father. And that's the end of the chapter, guys, because I mean, you guys comment down below and tell me how you feel about this chapter. Drop a like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. But tell me how you guys think this is going to pan out. How do you feel Kid and Law are going to fare up against Big Mom in the next chapter? Because we see Nami and Usopp are nearby, close enough that Nami's climate act has been affected by Big Mom's soul powers. So are they going to jump in and maybe offer some assistance? Because it is a Yonko after all, and Kaido fought, and Luffy fought, and Kaido fought 5 supernovas like on his own at one point. But you guys tell me how you think Yamato v Kaido is gonna go. How do you feel Yamato ranks in terms of rankings? Because I say I don't place Yamato any stronger than, I think just below Luffy, but stronger than Zoro, if that makes sense. So Yamato's strong enough to be a captain in her own right, and should easily be a supernova, like one of the top tiers, like after Kid. But that's the end of the chapter, guys. I'm the 36 Gems of Funk, the 36 COF, #1 Funk hero, and that was my One Piece chapter 1015 review. Now you guys comment down below and tell me how you feel. How did you like the chapter? How did you like my review? You know, let's get a discussion going, guys. But I'm gonna head off. I'll see you guys later. Keep it fresh and keep it funky. Goodbye.